Okay, so if you've watched all my videos and you've maybe attended some of my classes or hear me speak about poker, you'll notice that for the most part, I tend to hate on tournaments. And the reason I'll say tournaments are not actually really poker and cash games are where it's at and so on and so forth. And part of the reason why I still believe this, nothing is changing. I mean, tournaments aren't poker in the sense that the mass majority of tournaments that you can actually register for and that are in the reach of the average poker player, whether it's a $50 tournament or a $200 or $100 tournament, the structures are just so poor that you're not really playing poker. You're playing some sort of weird hybrid game where you have to go all in at a certain junction. And, for the longest time, I have stayed away from tournaments. I used to go to the World Series of Poker every year, but I'd play cash games there. I mean, I'm a cash game player. It's something that I take a lot of pride in. It's kind of like, oh, you tournament players. That being said, I'm 30 years old now, and I'm making the transition to tournament poker. So this year, for the first time, I'm going to go out to the World Series. I'm playing around anywhere between 6 to 10 events. And my goal is the next 18 months, I want $1 million in cashes. I'm not saying I'm going to win anything, but just $1 million in cashes I think is a good standard for the volume and the amount of tournaments that I'll play. And I'll keep you all up to date while I'm at the World Series and when I'm playing tournaments and so on and so forth. And I just wanted to make a video kind of discussing, I've always maintained the relationship with these videos, these YouTube videos, of just trying to be as honest as I possibly can and just tell you straight like how it is and why I'm playing tournaments. There's a couple of reasons. So first of all, I'm not a professional poker player anymore. I don't rely on it for my living. I don't play enough poker that I want to. I spend way more amounts of time teaching it. And I've done this because my hourly rate or the amount of money that I can make via my business is nowhere close to what I can play if I get in a car and drive to the games around here. I mean, I need to be playing super high. I do very well with creating products and building companies and consulting, and that's what I'm very good at. And that being said, I still love poker and I want to play the game. So when I play it, I want to be able to put myself into a situation where the ROI is extreme. And the reason why the ROI is so extreme with tournaments is because obviously, you have a buy-in and it's much better. In a tournament, you can buy in for a 3K tournament, walk away in 3 days with $650,000. You're never going to be able to do that in a cash game. Like, you're not going to sit down at 510 and run up $500,000. It's not going to happen it's just not going to happen. So the ROI is there. There's also the ROI of becoming well known in the poker community. I mean, no one knows who I am. Like, you guys know who I am. Sometimes I'll walk in a casino and people will be like, oh, you're the Poker Tell guy, or watch you on YouTube. But like, in the grand scheme of things, I'm not so well known. And there's a greater ROI in the sense that if I win a tournament, right? And people start to know who I am, my product launch. I mean, they do very, very, very well. There's all these different things. So the ROI is way more than just me making the money on the table. There's other things as well. And a lot of poker players will be looking for like endorsement deals. It's ridiculous. Basically, we're not in that kind of economy. The poker economy is not good. Being a sponsored pro doesn't really mean shit. For me, I'm being sponsored by both of the companies that I own. So I'm leveraging both my product side and like my knowledge and my teaching abilities and all these things to get myself into a situation where the ROI is considerable. So that's kind of the real reason why. And I want to be very straight. Like, it's like the reason why I go so mad is like, people will be like, oh, what have you won? And like, they Google me and it's like, oh, I haven't won any major tournament, therefore I'm not good. I could go out right now and I could spend $3 million trying to win that $1 million in cash. I'm going to be honest with all of you. I'm going to post like how much I bought in for and how much I won. I'm not going to do that. But if I spent $3 million winning $1 million, you go look me up online. Oh my God, this guy's got over $1 million in wins and he was a psychology professor and he owns this behavioral research company. I have to buy everything that he had. It's like a game. It's like a marketing game. And it's something that I am playing into. Don't think I'm not. Like, if all of a sudden, I bink off 2 events, I'm going to be like blah blah blah. And 2-time WSOP winner Blake Eastman. Like, that's part of this whole thing. I just want to be I don't want it to. So a lot of people like send me emails and they're like, you know, Blake, I want to make it as this, and I want to do that, and blah, blah, blah. And I have, you know, $500 to my name. Like, what should I do? And listen, I've been there. I understand what that's like. And I don't want people to kind of like think that they can model my track record, because in reality I'm not like taking my little bit of money and going to play. Like, foundationally, I'm okay in a position where I can play these tournaments, and it doesn't matter if I win or lose. I can still you know, pay my bills. I can still run my companies and so on and so forth. That being said, there's a couple other things I want to get. It feels good to get this all off my chest. I'm a little bit, not scared. Scared's not the word. I'm a little bit concerned. I definitely feel like there's a lot of like eyes on you when you play tournaments, and sometimes I do things that you know, sometimes I make mistakes like every other player. I make ridiculous mistakes sometimes. But sometimes I do things that are kind of not typical because of some tell stuff, and I'll get a read on somebody, and I'll be pretty damn well sure that this is going to lead to something, so I do it. And if you were to like view this on, like, if you were to write the hand history out, you'd be like, what? He shoved with 80 bit? That makes no sense. Da, da, da. So I'm a little bit afraid of like my name being like tarnished because of some of my plays. I know it's irrational. I just wanted to tell you, like, kind of like that's what I'm thinking about. And also just, you know, it's more spotlight. Like, if you ever make a final table, or if you ever make a thing, it's just more people watching you. And I've never played poker, honestly, with that level of attention. I've played poker at every stakes, but not with everybody watching what I'm doing. So I'm kind of curious to see how I'm going to be in there. I'll probably be just as talkative and just as friendly as I normally would. But yeah, I'm moving on to tournaments. I'm going to be documenting my stuff at the WSOP this year. I'm going out there June 13th. I'm playing a bunch of events. I'm going to talk about my WSOP prep and all these crazy mental game stuff that I'm doing for tournaments. I'm also, that's the last thing, I have not played like 10-hour sessions in a long time, and I have to build up that cognitive awareness or attention to be able to, you know, sit there in a 10 or you know, 8 to 10 hour sessions, or 8 to 10 hour days. That's long. It's a lot of thinking. But I have some tools and some techniques that I will, of course, share with everybody here. But yeah, thank you for watching over the past, I don't know, 7 years or whatever. I'm going to be switching. I'm still going to talk about cash games, but my advice might switch, and I'm seeking out the advice of tournament players that I respect right now, and they're kind of helping me work through some spots, and I'm asking a lot of questions. I mean, there's spots in tournaments, like there's spots, if you were to take the tournament information and translate it to cash, I would go all in every single day of the year. There is no doubt about it. Just shove. That's what you do. Like, I don't care. It'll make money. But in a tournament, it's like, okay, I can do this, and it's EV, and but if I'm wrong, I'm out of the tournament. So it changes. It really changes how you approach the game and how you play the game. It's different. It's like, if you lose, you're done. So I'm really interested in kind of like wrapping my head around those kind of spots. The only part of poker the only thing I'm really competent as, I'm really good, I think. Final table experience would be no problem for me. I've played so many damn sit and goes in my life, it's not even funny. So I do have a good experience with that, like final table and pushing and shoving and all those things. Pushing and folding and ICM and all that stuff. Like, I'm well versed in that. It's just you know, it's what do you do when you're 200 big blinds deep, and it's like a cash game, but it's not like a cash game. So it's going to be fun, and I'll keep you up to date. Sorry for rambling, but this is supposed to be a kind of rambling video. So to sum it up, 18 months, $1 million. If I do it earlier, I'm going to make the video and be like, bam. So I'll start the countdown from this year's WSOP. So we'll start it from June 13th. I'll say 18 months from June 13th. That's about it. Oh yeah, as always, schoolofcards.com/the-fix, my awesome, incredible course. Beyondtells.com for poker tells. You know the deal.